Series on Nick's Flakes recently, and today I'm going to work on the second part of the series. Um, Specifically, it's like packages at a high level, like what they are, how to make them, and the parts of them. So here I have my Emacs frame, and we have a bunch of things that I thought would be interesting to cover. Um, so the core thesis of this article is basically that a package is just a bundle of files. And Nix lets you build packages using stuff in the standard library. So let's start with let's do a little conversation fragment here. Let's go with the mood. What is a package? Cases. So we're going to take it completely from the top. A package is a bundle of files. Actually, wait. More generically, we could say that the package is the output of a build, or of some kind of action. So, we could say that a package... Okay, this is actually an interesting philosophical way to phrase this, because there are a lot of ways that people have overloaded the term package over the years. Hoping this gives me at least 0.2% motivation to get on and write a blog post, LMFAO. Yeah, I hope that this stream does help you with motivation to write. I certainly know that as I started doing more streaming of this, it's gotten a bit easier to do it. Not to mention constantly making myself explain myself out loud as I'm doing things generally tends to be a bit better. Helps me make the things understandable, and it lets people call me out for confusing things in real time. So, you know what? Let's say that a package is a bundle of files. Hey, Mark Posh. A package is a bundle of files. Okay, what's a good way to say container image without saying or you know what? Let's just call it a container image. So a package is a bundle of files. This post is gonna cover how to define packages in Nix and how Nix Flakes let you. What is a good way to phrase this? So what Nix Flakes do is, let's go with this. Let's say that Nix Flakes let you manage multiple packages per project more easily. Not entirely sure if that's like the most accurate way to put it, but you know what? I think this is good as a learning tool. Check this out. So that's a bad example. What is a good example of a package? Or a simple package. Most of the stuff that I use is in Rust has been written with it's been written with Nersk as the builder, so that makes it a bit not as obvious. I'm probably going to end up covering Nersk in part of this, but it's a more simple project that I have. Definitely not Waifu. I keep seeing the Twitch stream update in the corner of my eye, and it makes me look up there. Is that Go Quick Serve? I don't think it is. You know what? Let's just make a new one. Oh wait, there's this thing from the last post. Oh right, we can use this. Okay. So for this thing, we have, for this project, it's basically, you know, a Hello World program in Go. And in Nix Flakes, when you define outputs, one of the outputs you can define is packages. That doesn't look as good as I wanted. So, as we can see down here with this packages part of the Nix Flake show output, this flake for Hello World exposes a Hello World, a package for the binary for like M1 Max, ARM64 Linux, AMD 64 Max, and AMD 64 Linux. So with just this one package definition, we get this one package definition takes the source code in the current directory and oh, okay. Where is the port? Spam. I think this is a bot account. How do I delete messages? Oh, that didn't ban them, apparently. Oh. Okay, that banned them. Cool. Okay, I definitely know what I'm doing as a professional internet streamer. But yeah, the package is technically the output of this, at least with the definition that I gave, but actually, I guess the definition I gave might actually back me into a corner. So let's go to the next part. So what's a good way to approach this? So I want to say that Nix more focuses on, oh yeah, a derivation. Okay, what I understand okay, what is a derivation? That is a good question. Is there like an official Nix definition of derivation? The most important built-in function is derivation, which is used to describe a build action. It takes an input as a set, and the attributes of which specify the inputs of the build. You know what? Let's worry about, let's say that the DRV file is an implementation detail, the Nix daemon, and let's more think about like what you write in the .nix file. So the derivation is the So when I read a word like derivation, what I see is that it's the noun form of derive. What is the shun form in English? It is used to form nouns meaning the action of a verb or the result of a verb. Okay, so a derivation is the result of make sure to stay hydrated. Yeah, I've seen the what's it called? The .drv files before. I don't know if it's entirely useful to talk about them, because it's really more of an implementation detail of how Nix currently works. I could easily see a world where you don't need the .drv files, but I mean, yeah, I guess they do exist. So let's say that we have inputs and we have outputs. Consider a package like this. You know what? Let's cheat and let's just show the thing that I want to show. Standard environment dot make derivation. Okay, what special input? What special inputs could that be? Let's just have a one step, the install phase. Install phase equals so we take this thing, we keep hello shell.nix there. Nix build hello shell.nix. Phases is discouraged. What you're supposed to do instead? What are you supposed to do instead? Not. Okay. Does it still work if I do this? Oh, it needs a source. Okay. I guess it does actually need a source. Oh. You know, it actually helps to edit the file that you think you're editing. You know, this is gonna come as an absolute shocker to most of you. Okay. Okay, so I was gonna cover this. Name has both the package name and the version in it. P-name is the one that doesn't have the version. I think that's dumb. Apparently, it's historical baggage. So, cat result. Hello. This is all it takes to make an X package. You need to name the package, give it input source code somehow, and potentially give it build instructions. And everything else we're going to cover is building right on top of that. So let's go back to the example in the first thing. Oh, what was it? Oh no, I didn't want to close that tab. Z slash go hello. Go example package. No. Oh, right. Not in Linux. I don't have it's wired up. Okay, so now I get a link to the old post by going down to Nick's Flakes and Introduction. I copy, I paste. And you know what? Let's link to the example package in the Go Hello repository, because that seems like it would also be pretty nice. And then Okay, cool. Okay. This uses a different builder. One called packages.buildGo module. And you know what? Let's do the right thing and link to the Nix packages documentation. And scroll down to special builders. No. Languages and frameworks. Go to Go. Go modules. And I go back to my terminal. Oh, MK derivation, okay. Okay, and then run vend, runs the vend command, generate the vendor directory, proxy vendor. Okay, and vendor SHA-256. Okay, let's also take a look. Is there another thing? You can also use the tags thing. Sub packages. Cover that. You know what? Let's make this an HTML table. I haven't used those enough. Wait, I can't do multiple lines in a table like that. Crap. Okay, so I guess I have to actually is a package. MX table insert. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about limitations of the Markdown dialect that I'm using. Yeah, sub packages. Let's start here. Of a packet of a Go project, such as when you only need one or two commands out of a larger monorepo. Believe the way Tailscale is packaged in NixOS lets you do that. So, Tailscale, go to source. Yes. Okay, cool. Hi, Sopa. Yeah, I'm using Pretzel Rocks in order to get DMCA safe music, and it's on the lo-fi playlist right now. github.com/tailscale/tailscale. Ships a bunch of commands. Oh, it does include that. Okay. Cool. And I go down here. You know what? I'm not going to rewrite the NixOS documentation for the Go builder because they already wrote the documentation for the Go builder. Nersk. Go to Nix community /Nersk. Oh, it got moved over into the Nix community stuff. Cool. Nix. You know what? Let's check the Nix flake template. github.com/nix/templates. Go over down to Rust web server, flake.nix. Oh, go to Rust, go to flake.nix. And yep, and then you call Nersk and you know what? Let's cut all this crap out. I don't think it matters. Delete, 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 delete. Oh yeah, Docker has on build. Oh crap, this is like Docker on build. Let's look up Docker on build for a second. Docker on build is something that is very rarely used, but it's really nice. Is constantly comparing things to Docker bad, by the way? I've kind of been using Docker as sort of like the most common denominator, for lack of a better term. Docker's fairly universal. It's also widespread enough that I'm pretty sure that like using it as a common point of reference is probably a good idea. I'm not totally sure though. Thank you for the follow, Nursen. Hope I pronounced that right. Probably didn't. Opinion on snap/flatpak. Okay. Hot take, but Flatpak is good. Flatpak is disrupting the existing package managers in very good ways. The major downside that Snap has is the fact that you can't use it for system services. Or the major downside that Flatpak has is you can't use it to ship around system services. So if I want to package like the printerfax server or Tailscale or something, I can't use a Flatpak for it. I could use a Snap for it, but Snap has its own limitations and downsides. Like, you need to be able to run a VM in order to get snaps to build. And that's kind of difficult for me when most of my infrastructure is running NixOS and I'm used to running Ubuntu in VMs so that I can just like sort of spin up an Ubuntu when I need it and destroy it when it's no longer needed. But overall, the kind of disruption that Snap and Flatpak have been doing in terms of making the state, like the end user experience for Linux better, yeah, it's worth it. Flatpak and Snap are both totally valid ways to go about doing things, and it would be kind of nice if Snap was a bit less Ubuntu specific, but I think that Canonical's vision for Snap is much more for running things on the server than it is for running like GUI applications. Ubuntu Core is probably a good example of like how Snap could evolve in the future, or kind of like the like the idea they had in mind when they were designing Snap. However, Flatpak, totally valid. When I boot into Linux, I use apps in Flatpak all the time. My Matrix client, Fluffy Chat, isn't available in NixOS, so I just use the Flatpak version, and it works great. In general, I'd rather people ship complicated GUI applications in Flatpak or Snap rather than trying to get them to build everywhere, because that's a huge pain, and getting Flatpaks is a lot easier. Interesting, thank you. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go into a little bit of that at the bottom. Overall, though, this is one of those cases where competition and disruption is good. It makes people differentiate things, and it gives room for ways to get improvement. It makes ways for things to be improved. Like, on the Steam Deck, you download the Discord Flatpak, and, you have Discord on your Steam Deck, even though you don't have, like, root access on the Steam Deck. You can still just install Discord and just talk on Discord like a normal human being you would on Mac OS or Windows. There's no reason that things need to be hard. And Flatpak is a step toward things being easy. Individual. Yeah, okay. Okay, so one of the next steps I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a better Go template. The existing Go template is okay, but I would like to make a better one because I can. So let's make a better one. Let's go to code Z. Let's make a templates repo. And let's make this on GitHub real quick. New repository, templates. Nix Flake templates. README file, choose a license. We're going to go with MIT. And we're going to create a repo. And okay, so code, clone, SSH, copy, git remote, add origin, git pull. Ah, that's right. Okay, we're just going to clone the repo that GitHub made. Okay, so Nix Flake show templates. Where's the, like, oh, there's the basic, there's the super basic default template. Let's see what that does. Oh, okay. So it just has hello. It just has GNU hello. Description. We're gonna call this Z's Nix Flake templates. Cool. So the way that you make a flake template is like go to the flake.nix, templates equals attribute set. Oh my gosh, apparently if you live in the Bellevue area, or like the Seattle Bellevue area, and you have a Steam Deck coming this week, Gabe Newell will deadass come to your house and like hand deliver your Steam Deck and sign the case for you. That's amazing. Wish I still lived in Bellevue. Wow, that's cool. Why has Valve been so Linux friendly compared to other companies? Okay, so at some level, Microsoft is a threat to Valve. Especially with like universal Windows apps locking things into the App Store and the like. It's pretty easy to imagine that at some point Microsoft is going to lock down consumer Windows entirely and make it difficult to install apps outside of their walled garden. This is already kind of the case with like Windows 10 S, I think that's what it's called, which you can get on more of the cheaper laptops. That version of Windows will only let you install things from the Microsoft Store, and Steam is not on the Microsoft Store. So Valve has been very Linux friendly as of late because they want a plan B. And because in the process, they are basically getting like a bunch of free advertising for the fact that they're contributing so heavily to the open source technologies. Like the Steam Deck is literally was advertised as being built on top of Arch Linux. This has done a lot for like getting Arch Linux's name out there. And because they're basing it on Arch Linux, you can, do anything you want. It's just a PC. So they installed, the Flatpak system services into the Steam Deck base image, and now people can install Discord, and people can install Yuzu, and people can install Dolphin, and all of these things. And they don't even have to do anything. And if somebody like Epic wants to make it available for the Steam Deck, the easiest way for them to do that is to put it on FlatHub, and then people on desktop Linux also get access to it. And I think another reason why Valve is also pretty Linux friendly here is because people are just going to buy games on Steam with the Steam Deck. And by making it easier for you to use Steam to do that than it is to do it other ways, your natural inclination is going to be to just buy it on Steam. Like, Valve has created a setup where buying the games legitimately is easier than piracy, because piracy is a service problem. Like, if you think about like most of the reasons why people pirate things, let's look at, you know what? Let's put Nintendo under the spotlight here, because Nintendo is a pretty decent one for this. Nintendo is this year and into next year going to be sunsetting the eShop for the 3DS and Wii U consoles, and there is a non-trivial amount of both of those systems libraries that are stuck on the Wii U stuck on the eShop, for lack of a better word. Not to mention all of the updates and patches for the games that they've put out. Those are also on the eShop. So when they turn off the eShop, people's only options is going to be piracy, because they don't have the ability to buy it as a service. Buy it from the service. So when you reframe it, piracy is actually a service problem. Also, games on Steam are dirt cheap. They would cost less than piracy if you count time as money. Yeah, holy crap. Steam games are so cheap. Like, they're just really cheap. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna add my Steam store window to the stream real quick. This is probably a mistake, but you know what? I want to make the point here. Create new Steam, okay. Capture method, Windows 10, okay. So, let's name a game. Let's see Dark Souls. Dark Souls. Dark Souls 2, 43.99 Canadian. Dark Souls Remastered, $50 Canadian. If I wanted to get Dark Souls Remastered on the Switch, that would be $80 Canadian. Yes, I do have a Steam Deck pre-order. I am after Q2, which really sucks. But yeah, I have a Steam Deck pre-order, and I am going to definitely write a lot about it once I get it. I just haven't gotten it yet. And I'm probably not going to get it until at least July. Hopefully sooner. Because if I don't get it sooner, it might explode. Suddenly, I'm glad I did order the 64 gig model. Yeah, I guess. I personally wanted to get the 512 gig model because I really wanted to support Valve in their on this project more than anything, if that makes any sense. Like, I am very, very happy with what they've been doing with like SteamOS, like just even the run up to the Steam Deck. Like, my tower that I'm streaming from is Zen 2 and RDNA 2, and I am already seeing improvements in my non-Steam Deck hardware just because I happen to run similar hardware to the Steam Deck. It's freaking crazy. Oh, right, I don't need the thing there. And I just have it as utils. Format that. There we go. Was I surprised by the SD card performance? Yes. Very. I am used to SD cards being fairly slow, but this is pretty darn freaking impressive. Hello, I can't pronounce your name. Actually, what does go hello say there? Oh, it's lol, okay. That's a serious sloth. That's the first time I've seen that. Oh yeah, it has a version here. Let's steal more from this because this is a decent little bean. got the buffer. Get all that. Cool. Okay, so now we do dev shell, right? Yeah. Actually, let's get the default app too. I really like what you're trying to do with your VM manager project. Thanks. Yeah, that's when I've designed this thing, I have designed it really to solve problems that I've been having. I realize that a lot of my problems are kind of contrived, but it solves problems. That's WaifuD's main reason to be. I run my main desktop with multiple VMs using Cubes OS, and I learned a lot just by reading the code. For Cubes OS or for WaifuD? Oh, you try to do it like Cube, but it's you use libvirt everywhere. Okay, that makes sense. And then we get the build inputs there. Actually, you know what? This definition here can go up a level. And then I don't have to define packages again here. Or, no, that's not, or that's definitely not what I wanted. Okay. Flake output default package. Okay, cool. And now we can add the nvarc. Did you try Purenix or Doll to generate code? For what? For complex nig config / expression? No. Most of the stuff that I do is written by hand. Like, most of the stuff that I do is not actually, like, complicated enough that I actually need to do something more elaborate like that. parse var Hi, thanks for the sub, Gee Shadow. It helps the channel a lot. Thank you so much. Where is my... There's my Firefox. No, what browser am I using? Whatever browser I'm using, there is the window. I missed it, but thanks, Scuba Kel. Oh, it's like Koopa Shell, but backwards. For the follow. It also helps the channel a lot. http.default serve or no, dot handle func / func w http.responsewriter r http.request because it's Go, not C, and well, then we build this template. Cool. And oh, right. You know what would actually help? Listening on HTTP. I'm the first person to get it right immediately? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I don't know how people miss that. That's really obvious. We can do go run dot. Oh, address is already in use. Oh, right, that's the one that my blog is binding to. I knew that port looked familiar. Okay, then curl http / 3031. Hello from Nix. There we have an example. Cool. So now we have a Go HTTP server template. Hey, this Hello World program isn't very useful on its own. However, we can use it as the basis for making something a bit more useful. I have made a template. Maybe someday I will learn how to spell, but today is not that day. You'd think that like 250 plus articles in, you learn how to spell. No, you do not. Spelling is so hard. It also helps if you push your thing to GitHub if you want to use it from GitHub. I know, this is an absolute shocker of the day. No, I don't want Nix, I want console. Or, no, shell. So you want to make the directory, change directory, get init, and then nix flake template init github :z templates hash go web server. Let's see if this does it. I'm pretty sure it will, but you know what? Let's find out. Let's move this over to the side. Copy these commands one at a time. Get init. And nix flake template init. I think that's... Or is it just nix template? Oh, nix flake init. Okay. And then a -t for the template. Derenv.net. By the way, Derenv, this link that I'm pasting in the chat, is probably one of the most useful tools you will ever encounter for automating setting things in your shell environment. I highly recommend it. It is one of the best things that I've ever used, and I use it daily. direnv basically allows me to automatically get a project environment set up when I go into a folder. So, like, actually, with Flakes, you don't need Lori anymore, because Flakes are already have cached evaluations, like deep inside the Nix interpreter. So you don't need to worry about having Lori or another daemon. But yeah, I go into project folder, I get the go command, I leave the project folder, I don't have the go command anymore. So freaking useful. Hello, C. Lauren. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, I like the vibe of this one. Oh, that made it into a nice. That was... Yeah, this is nice. Git add, git commit -sm. You know what? Let's add -sm here. It does add the annoying signed off by line in every commit, but most of the time people don't care, and I think adding the sign off line is usually a better default because some projects will demand it, and it's easier to just have it by default than it is to have to remember about it. Okay, so now that we have this, let's do a quick Nix build. Yes. Okay. I might want to fix this, but so when you have Go in modules mode, by default, the command name is the last part of your last part of the module stanza. So so if we rename this to http-server, we do another, oh, wait. We git add, we do another Nix build. And it'll take a second to think, and then we do... Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna fix this in the template because that could be confusing. Go web server. There, that's probably a bit better. My example's going to use HTTP server, but you know what? Let's just change it to web server. That's what I called it, right? Yes, I did. Cool. Okay. Okay, so wait, did I set a default app on this? I don't know if I did. Oh, I did. Cool. Let's find out if that works. So, okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's look at the schema for making apps again to be sure, and let's fix this properly instead of hacking it. Because I'm kind of inclined to hack it right now, but let's fix it properly so that it looks better for people reading the article. Output schema. Let's go to the Flake Utils repo. I think they had something about an app. Okay. Oh yeah, there's make app. So we could do. Okay, this is going to be kind of a nuclear fire take, but I'm kind of glad that it doesn't have a 4G modem because LTE and 5G like data pricing in Canada is a racket. Mix flake check. Okay, mix run. Without required argument DRV. Run. Okay, cool. We got it running. Now we just copy this over to go hello.http and :break. We break the pane out into a tab. Okay, next run. Okay, and I have the little thing about how to make your own templates. Cool. So another thing about Nix builders is because they're literally just like, you have some inputs, you have a source, you have source that you want to build, and you can produce some outputs. That doesn't mean that you strictly just have to build software. You can make a container image if you want, and that's what things like packages.dockertools.build layered image allow you to do. Build layered image is kind of hilarious because it basically allows you to build a Docker image, but in such a way that every single Nix dependency for that image is in its own Docker layer. So when you go in to upgrade that thing on the Docker machine later, Docker will only download the layers that have changed. But because every single derivation is in its own layer, and if you explicitly lock everything with Nix Flakes, this means that the only thing that will change is your application code and any other dependencies that are a result of that. So you have a 3 megabyte download, and that's it. So beautiful. And you can output images for multiple architectures. I haven't tested it, but I don't see why not. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. However, that doesn't stop you from building things like Docker images with Nix. You know what? Let's see how you build for another architecture. Okay, so, next build -- help. What is the system? How do I specify the system? Cross-compiling. Next build, cross-compile Flake. Okay. Oh, so let's try this. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna say that I want to build the default package for ARM64 Linux. And now what it's going to do is it's going to grab a whole bunch of crap from the Nix repositories, assemble an environment, and run things. This is working directly because I have ARM64 binary support in bin formats miscellaneous. So if I do like cd sys fs bin, oh, what is it? Always have to look this up. Oh, Proxys FS. So right here we have this arch64-linux file, and what this does is it gives the Linux kernel the instructions of, hey, if you are trying to run a file with this magic number, which just so happens to be the magic number of arch64 binaries built for Linux, use this program instead, which is actually kimu-user that will just run it. So what I can do then is actually, you know what? Let's get the file command in here and file./result bin web server. What we can see is that it is a 64-bit executable built for arch64, which is the technical name for ARM64, the 64-bit ARM architecture. I don't know why they call it that, but I'm actually kind of thankful because arch64 is more letters than ARM64, and it makes it stand out in my book. Hey, that magic number is the combination of my suitcase. Well, I guess you need to change your suitcase combination. Oh, there's the rub. But yeah. I have it, but because I have bin format miscellaneous setup, I can just run it and it doesn't matter. It's cool. Okay, and let's make a Docker image. So let's go over here and go back into the flake.nix. Docker equals packages.dockertools.build layered image. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's kind of required. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set some variables here. So we have let web equals self dot default package dot system in this attribute set. So then we do name equals web.name or web.pname. And tag equals web.version. And contents equals web. Another cool thing about Nix is that when you're dealing with packages as objects in Nix, you can refer to their attributes like the package name or the version directly by just accessing it with dot. And then we have config, where the command is a slice, and we have web bin / web server. Then we have working dir equals /. Okay, I had the ordering of where to do the let and in wrong. Oh, and I just accidentally closed things. So nix build.hash docker. Do I have Docker installed? Oh, cool, I do. Awesome. Then docker load result. No. Docker import /result. Okay, cool. And Docker or Docker. No, what's the images? There we go. So we have our image ID and Docker run dash. Oh no, we have to put the -p before that. Wait. I feel like I'm making a mistake here. Building and running Docker images. Oh, I used Docker load, not Docker import. There we go. That's more like it. So now we have this image imported. So we do Docker run -p 3031 :3031. Oh, no, I want itp. Interactive allocated pseudo terminal and like, so that Control-C works. Although Control-C did just work, so hello from Nix. We got a Nix image in Docker. So yeah, that's it. When you want to make a Docker image, you just do that. So let's, yeah. Pull this to the side. Okay, and what is this before and after in there? So, oh, this is the template. We can close the template. We've gotten a lot of use out of the template. It's okay. So this goes after default package. flake.nix, and then we have after default package. You know what? Mount. Okay. Sudo -I c. Oh, okay. So it is actually just /bin/web server. So we could just do this. Yeah. So we can just do that. So that yeah, this is a super minimal container, like to the point where it doesn't even have bash or ls. This is like the most microscopic container you can possibly build. Let's see what's in its SNCS store. So in its SNCS store we have glibc, which is probably the bulk of this, which is probably the bulk of the size. glibc does a lot. 13 megabytes compressed, 40 megabytes uncompressed, which is actually a fairly incredible freaking compression ratio. Holy crap. But yeah, most of this stuff is either glibc or other dependencies that were automatically detected. Go specifically brings in things like the time zone data file. Oh, yeah, created 53 years ago because whenever you build a Docker image with Nix, it defaults to setting its time to Unix timestamp 0, so things are reproducible. This behavior is actually true for like everything in the Nix store. So this container image that I just built was created on January 1st, 1970. And this actually matters because when you have a tarball, we have a tarball with a bunch of stuff in it. The file creation time is part of the tarball. So if you don't change the time, if you don't explicitly set the time for everything to the right value, to the 0 time, then you will create irreproducible builds. And it's January 1st, 1970, because famously, time did not exist before January 1st, 1970. It's actually set to 0. But yeah, I made a barely noticeable change to the Docker image, and it only resulted in 2 layers changing. The first was obviously the application binary itself, and the second was probably like the symlink farm in the root, in the container root. So yeah, that's it. It's a very small little bean of an image. .hash docker, not codker docker. Okay, so with this console block, we have loaded image web server. And we're going to have a little note here that says, your image tag may differ depending on when you build this image. Put the happy short, and shell has 2 L's, not 3. That's another important thing. Docker run -itp 3031 colon 3031 web server at current date 22/2/02/27. Yep. Let's not compare it to a Docker file. It's pretty obvious what this is, I think. Okay, and let's do a little example of how this does the only load what changed thing. So main.go, and we go down here. Let's actually copy this entire function invocation here so that it's a bit easier to tell what's going on. Oh, no, I didn't want to get that one. So then... when I do these little command things here, I think you've noticed that I have like 2 kinds of commands, 2 types of things that I do. There's ones where I want to like demonstrate the output, and I'll use the console highlighter. This doesn't really work on my blog engine, but it does work on GitHub, and that'll like highlight the shell lines differently than the output. And when I want to copy, I'll just use the shell highlighter because it's the one that makes it look the most like shell script. Nixbuild.hashdocker. Nixbuild.hashdocker. Um, Also, like most of the reason why I'm doing git at dot everywhere is because Flakes will only care about files that are tracked by Git. Let's add that as a little conversation fragment. Means if you want the change to be observed by Nix, you need to add them to get some. Ow. Let's do the happy pose. You know what? Let's move this up somewhere else so I can have a different conversation fragment there. I try not to overload with the conversation fragments because it can get distracting. So... Docker load from result. Okay. So that's not a comment. That is a URL fragment. And what that means is we're selecting the package named Docker. I don't really know if I agree with them using URL fragments that way, but it does work. Uh, it can be kind of confusing at first, but you know what? Let's add something about that. Let's see if there's another place where git add is used. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually very useful. Thank you, Plum Slumber. That's something that is kind of weird about Flakes, and it is great that people are calling me out when I'm doing things that aren't totally obvious, because that's how this gets to be simpler and easier to understand. The flake package. Yeah, it starts a comment only if, there's white space in front of it. And a new line is white space, so you can't see me do the cheesy grin. Crap. Each niche package that contributes to the image. Means that only things that changed need to be considered. So when you push it to another machine, the only things that will actually be pushed are the application binary and the symlink arm pointing to that the contents of the Docker image. Okay, so now let's get to the really fun part. I'm gonna build this into a what's called a systemd portable service. Systemd portable services are kind of like Snap and Flatpak, except they are at the systemd level instead of a layer on top of it. So this also gives you a lot of the advantages of containers, like, you know, the isolated environment, without having to worry about networking or logging or stateful storage or... When you push an updated image to another machine, Yeah, you can use systemd portable services with systemctl. They're just like normal systemd services. You know what? Let's just do this. Let me just get an example. So I'm gonna make a new output here, but I'm also gonna have to bring in an input. Systemd portable service building support isn't part of Nix packages yet. The PR is still in progress, but I took the contents of the PR and turned it into a library, and then I can use it like this. So what this does is we add a new input, which in this case is the URL to my portable service Nix Flake. I don't have this very documented, but there's the URL for it. Most of the exciting things are in Flake or in default.nix, and basically works like the Docker image builder. So let's use it. So now we go down here and we do, we'll call it portable, and we'll copy this let in here because that's a useful little let in there. In pkgs dot portable service, right? Yeah. With a lowercase p, because again, I am a certified genius. And then I'll just reference the example I have over here. And then we have units equals that. We're gonna build the systemd service unit in a second. No, I don't want to switch layers keyboard. Web service, or I'll call this web-service. Hopefully it's not going to be super packages.substitute all. Name equals web server.service. Source equals dot slash systemd slash web server dot service, and web equals this. Oh, I want to do dot in. And then I go over to this example that I have here. Make dir systemd, cd systemd, e web server.service.in, and then I'm going to copy this and customize it, because that is how I do things. I copied this from the printer fax example that I made earlier today in order to learn this. Description equals a web service. Get rid of that. And then what we want is web server. And really, this is all you need to run an unprivileged service on your heckin' systemd setup. probably can make that a bit simpler, but this is what worked over there, so. And then we set the name to the web.package name. And the description equals a web server. And mix flake check. Oh, mix flake check. Mix flake check. Download the portable service add-on little thingy. Nix build hash portable. Yep, and now it's going to rebuild the web server, and then build a what's called a .raw file. So So what this is that this .raw file is a squashfs file system. And what this will do is, what this contains is the entire runtime closure, kind of like the Docker container, but it's all squashed into a very, very small little thing. And it's like 9.2 megabytes. And that is the thing that you ship around. So creating and using squash file systems. Is there a squashfs ls command? Squashfs inspect. Squashfs tools, that gets you make squashfs and unsquashfs, but I went like extracting is probably fine. Actually, you know what? Let's mount it, because squashfs can just be mounted. So sudo mount /mount. Okay, so this is the inside of the service. So if we go into Nix store, we'll see that there are 8 little layers in here. There's glibc, there's Unicode string handling, there's a time zone data file, there's the symlink farm for the image, there's mailcap, IANA, Etsy stuff, international domain names, and finally our web server. So if we go into there, we see that we have our web server. And if we run the file command on it, we see that we have a 64-bit executable, and if we run it, then it lists on HTTP. Cool. So let's use it. So let's make a Arch VM on Logos with 20 gigabytes of space. Oh, dash S20. So now it's just going to make a VM real quick. It's going to hydrate the zvol. Now we're waiting for Cloud init. And this is the kind of stuff that I want to be able to do with waifud. I want to be able to treat VMs like containers. Oh, yeah, it's going to need to do that. So waifud reboot. I don't know why, but sometimes the arch images won't actually let you SSH in until you reboot it once. I need to figure that out, but it's fine for now. So then we have this. And then, you know, you scp read link /result and colon. Oh, treat VM as containers. I mean, I want to spin them up quick. I want to destroy them quick. And I just want it to work. I want it to just work. Copy it over like that. Awesome. Yeah, I could have it inject signed host keys. On my Linux tower, I made a SSH config change that just sort of like ignores SSH host keys because for only the net blocks that my VM hypervisors use, so I don't have to care. Performance and plug and play. In performance, I don't really know what the performance is. It's probably they're all on NVMe with ZFS, so like the performance is probably decent. Plug and play, yes. So then what we do is we portable cuddle attach it, and then we system cuddle status web server, and we see that it is loaded. And if we cat it, then we see that, you know, we have a web service. It has the web server there. We have multi-user target. Can you create a portable user services? No idea. I wouldn't see why not, but I haven't actually tested it yet. So now we do system cuddle cat web server, and this will show you, like, this will peel back a lot of the magic here. So, the main way that this works is that it will put in a bunch of, like, it'll put in a bunch of default mounts, and then it'll create a whole bunch of default sockets and the like so that everything can go to the right place. It'll create a dynamic user situation. It'll remove IPC from the owner. It'll limit the capabilities so that it can't do anything super bad. It near completely isolates the container from everything else. And the root image is this. So the root image is that .raw file that Nick spat out. And that is how that works. So then we start it. Access denied. Oh. Then we start it. And we see that, oh, hey, web server is listening for HTTP. HTTP //:1 3031, and hello from Nick's building a Docker image, which wasn't really accurate anymore, but, you know, yeah, that's systemd portable services in a nutshell. So now to take all of that and turn it into writing. I forgot. Systemd is supposed to be all lowercase. Okay, note that portable services are only available for system services, not for user services. I.e., the functionality cannot be used for the stuff bubble wrap / Flatpak is focusing on. So, okay, it looks like you can't create portable user services. That's kind of annoying, but I understand their logic there. Make sure to stay hydrated. Gives you access to systemd's readiness signaling, logging pipeline, and to C graph. You can integrate like a native service. Ubuntu snaps do let you create system services, but they are basically exclusive to Ubuntu. Portable services should be easier to use and will be more integrated with the system than Docker is. The headaches around networking, stateful storage, and logging. They are just systemd services at their core. Where is this thing? Unit root? It probably makes like an isolated mount namespace for it, so I'm probably not gonna be able to see it. That's fine. There is currently an open pull request for adding thanks to my portable service overlay. That copies in the contents of that pull request. Make this into a portable service. I was thinking for a sec, oh wait, how am I going to copy this over? And then I'm like, you're using Emacs, you can just use the kill buffer. And I'm like, oh. Nope, that was the wrong paste button. There isn't a way to specify an overlay asterisk. Isn't a way to specify an overlay to this. Change this into a manual import of Nix packages with the overlay an overlay is on top of Nix packages. Yep. Go over here and let packages, and then pull this in. Systemd service unit for the web server. And will change with every build. So it would be good to have this templated. Copy this. Web service. add the package that will template out the systemd unit. /flake.nix. Go down here. Service. Having two paste keys is paste shortcuts in this setup is kind of annoying in practice. The @web@ was replaced with the next store path for the web server. Portable systemd services do also work on CentOS or Fedora. However, or Fedora 35. However, in my testing, systemd was refusing to work with that because of SE Linux getting in the way and preventing the squashfs file system from working. So I'm using Arch Linux in my example because you don't need to do that. And I think that telling people to disable a security feature is, as a matter of policy, what they call a bad move. Because we want things to be secure, and annoyingly, sometimes security is just annoying. Can't have a vulnerability if you can't run the code. I mean, yeah. I personally love disabling security features. Okay, you might, but I have found out that people will blindly copy and paste my blog into their production environment, so, you know, I kind of have to be a little bit responsible. Even though, you know, like, I told people that, you know, do not copy and paste the contents of my blog into your production environment. And I'll tell you now, do not copy and paste the contents of my blog into your production environment. People do anyways, so, yeah. You could responsibly have the copy-paste call back to you so you can tell them off. I mean, I guess that could work. It feels kind of creepy, though. Like, really creepy. Okay, here's a really unfair SRE interview question for you. Without uh without using a manual or looking at the output as a reference, what are the fields of ls-l? Because yeah, that's a great way if you want to piss people off. I use plain old ls. Okay. Yeah, but you know, there's a reason we gotta. 2010 inodes. Okay, that's a bit more than I'd expect, but I guess that that's mostly like glibc and term cap. Huh. Okay. Inode, by the way, is the Linux kernel structure name for what's called a disk node, and a disk node is basically a file or a folder. It also includes special files like sockets or FIFOs, but in general, you can think about it as a file or a folder. Everything that could be in a Unix file system, yeah. Generally, most of the time, you'll be dealing with like files, symbolic links in folders, and everything else is, you know, like special case. You probably won't touch it directly, but there will probably be something that uses it along the chain, like syslog. It uses a datagram Unix socket, which is a very interesting thing that I hope I never have to deal with in my life again. You use something like waifud to And by the way, the canonical pronunciation of this command is waifu cuddle. Then there we go. And go into 208. Put this in a little warning box. That VM spawning is literal magic. I need to cuddle more waifus. Yeah, you do. The other thing that's like literally freaking magic about waifu D is that it uses a cloud in it, so you could have a template for waifu D config set user data. So this is my default configuration template for all the VMs that I create. And by default, when I create a new VM, Waifu Cuddle will upload this template and use it for cloud config. But you can also use a template. You can also make your own template, you know, have it do whatever you want. World's your oyster. Yeah, I've dealt with Cloud Init as part of this, and I have to concur. It is literally magic. I cannot understand the Python code of Cloud Init at all. It is so hard to grok. What's the x.io curl? Ah, it's this. I don't actually know for sure if you need to use sudo for the system kernel status, but I do know that Ubuntu likes to gimp systemd, so you might. Um, and let's just copy this curl command in my clipboard because that's easier than remembering how to write it. No, I don't want to curl. Oh. No, I know, I didn't adjust the message from when I wrote. Do I have a facepalm emote? I hope I do. We'll find out quick. Numa port 3030. Oh yeah, it's still rebuilding. Okay. There we go. A 20-minute read. Coffee should be there. Wait, down and make sure that shows up. Yep, I do have a facepalm emote. Good. Okay, and then go all the way down to the bottom. Oh, then portable cuddle reattach allows you to upgrade the image. So let's try that. Okay, let's see. It looked like it was setting the environment variable portable to things, so let's see if that shows up. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of angy because rebuild the portable service. Git add dot, mixbuild dot hash portable. And then we wait for x.io again, copy all of this, and so you know what? I don't need to include the full legal prompt in there. Let's just let's consistify it here. Et voila! And finally poke it from curl. And I think this is near the end of the article. Then we're able to update it so that we could replace the message. Virtual machine images. You'd also have to pull in something like niv to make sure everything uses the same version of mix packages, and even then it's opt-in, not opt-out, so niv. Oh wow! If you just search niv by itself, you get the new international version of the Bible. Yeah. Let's let's make this a repo on my Git server so that people have an example to go off of. I'll paste the link in here. It's basically the code that you've been watching me develop as I've been going through this thing, but if you want to look at it for some reason, there you go. You know what? Okay. I do this Twitch streaming thing a lot, so post a lot. So I'm gonna add something to the header template for my or to the footer template for my blog post, so that it makes it easier for me to link to the Twitch and YouTube thing, so I don't have to write it out every time. So let's say VOD, Twitch. To-do URL and YouTube to-do URL. Okay, so now here is the good side and the bad side about writing my own blog software. The good side is that I can make it do anything I want. The bad side is that I have to be the person that does it. Let's just delete that Arch Linux VM because we don't need it anymore. So what I have is I have the frontmatter.rs file, which defines the chosen cursive. I want my own blog engine. Yep. So this frontmatter.rs thing is what parses the little YAML block at the top of every blog post. I'm using YAML because YAML frontmatter seems to be de facto the standard. So VOD is pub Twitch string pub YouTube string, and then pub VOD option VOD, where VOD is short for video on demand. At least you managed to not only blog about what I added to my blog engine this month. Hey, I do that sometimes when I don't have anything to post. I will literally just, like, that's what I do for, like, down weeks. I'll have, like, a site update where I describe some of the recent things I've made. It doesn't even have to be, like, stuff that I made in the same, general week. Okay, so then I go to blogpost.rs.html. Okay, so another part of the curse of having my own blog engine is that I get to choose the template engine, and in this case, I chose a template engine that lets me compile the templates as Rust code. So the templates are, like, ridiculously optimized. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. This also means that you can do things like at if post.frontmatter.vod.is some. So if we have VOD data there, and then I'm going to go back to one of my previous posts. Specifically, I'm going to look at the SQLite one to find out. That is so incredibly cursed. Oh, this is... You have no idea. This is so incredibly cursed. Okay. I don't like that, so I'm going to write my own message here. Actually, I kind of want the URL to be to do there, if only because I just want it to be there, and you can't stop me. But Husky23, what's the fun of having your own blog if you can't like over-engineer a blog engine that's literally so fast that it's faster than a static file server? What fun is that? There's no fun in that. Oh, right, I need to close the quote. You could add a flake.nix with urine to nix. I mean, I don't like JavaScript, okay? I just don't like JavaScript, and making it run in client-side JavaScript would defeat part of the goal of this blog, which is to have everything rendered as HTML on the server so it's able to be viewed from browsers that don't have JavaScript support. Oh, cool. I have a... Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I have to... to Azref it. Okay. Okay, so... my Azref... No. Not today, Satan. Let me pull up another Edge window, and let's see if I can narrowly avoid sharing a browser window that I shouldn't. No, why aren't you showing that window? Okay, and then I'll move this over here and put that over there, close all these other tabs. Now, where is Stream Edge? You know what? Let's let's load this into Firefox instead. See if that'll work. Ah, there we go. So we scroll all the way down here. This post is written live on Twitch. To-do URL, to-do URL. Oh my gosh, this is great. Okay. You know what? This was that's kind of low on the page, so let's pull it up a little. Put it before the share button, I think. Where's the share button start? Ah, there. And paste. No. I want to be out of input mode. Tap it twice. Cargo watch will pick it up. And then refresh a Rooney. Yeah, you're fine. One of the downsides of the design of my blog engine is the fact that it loads every single post from Markdown on application boot, and I've written too much, so my current design flaw in my blog is that I write more than I thought I would. You know what? That needs a BR or two. I mean, this blog used to be deployed on Kubernetes. But then I kind of got over that. Yes, I literally used a freight train to mail a letter. I think I even referenced that meme. It turns the Markdown to HTML on application startup, not on page load. On this post, which got mangled when I was HTML escaping things properly. No. Kubernetes pondering? No, yes, okay. If I search Kubernetes truck meme blog Twitter, I get this, which is an accurate representation of what it's like to deploy a blog on Kubernetes. It is like using a freight train to mail a letter. Mind you, just one letter. However, at that time, because of mistakes that I made in how I designed things like the RSS feed, my blog was doing over 1 terabyte of traffic per month. Oopsies! Yeah, it was literally doing like terabytes of traffic per month because of people's broken RSS feed readers that don't respect the fact that I said, hey, only check once every 8 hours because, like, I only really write one post a day. So, you know, why do you care? And because at the time my RSS feed had every single post I had ever written, and included the contents of every single post I'd ever written, as I wrote more and more articles, this quickly spiraled out of control, to the point where most of the site's runtime was actually being dedicated to serving the RSS feed. That was a mistake. Not afraid to admit that it was a mistake, though. I mean, it was fine. The little Kubernetes cluster could handle it. It's just kind of hilarious in hindsight. Of course, now somebody actually did rely on that behavior, and they kind of want the ability to query the archives. So I'm gonna come up with something like that for the future. My wallet did not hurt too much. I was actually still under the egress limits in DigitalOcean. I don't know how. Oh, that's why. I was doing it as an image, not as a thing. Oh my gosh. Atom and MF2 have pagination. Yes, but you know what you have to do in order to implement that when you wrote your own blog? You know, you have to write all the backend stuff for that yourself. And I don't want to. Biggest single person WordPress blog I know has 20k plus posts. Is it Foronix? Good point. Yes, Foronix is a single person. Turns out these bloated blog engines do have their uses after all. Yes, I understand that blog engines, like, the bloat has use. But, like, it's effort. So then, looking through this, is this too vague of a definition of overlays? Like what I said is that they're like an overlay is a set of additional packages or functions that is put on top of Nix packages. So in this case, by adding the portable service overlay, you get the portable service function. Is that clear enough, you think? Cool. You know what? Maybe it's remove that div warning there. Or, you know what? Like we can bodge in some margin. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some advanced hacking. You want to see some like multi-track drifting level hacking? Doc to right. Oh, it's not totally visible there. So let's fix that. Transform. Fit to screen. Okay. And I'm gonna move the docs, the dev tools to the left because that's where my head is. And then I get this, and here's a. We can add an extra thing, margin. What's the inner margin? Oh, padding. Ah, no, don't do this to me, Firefox. Yeah, I think padding 1EM is probably fine. Looks kind of shite, but it's fine. Hello, Silver. Welcome to the part of the stream where I'm using the Firefox dev tools. Yeah, I don't know why they let me use dev tools. I'm also like going over the article to make sure that it looks fine because I'm almost done with it. Yeah, that padding is not going to work there. So we cover what is a package, give a couple examples of what packages are. We make a more useful package. We build it and run it, and we use Nix run directly. We can make a Docker image. And we talk about Flake references there. We load the Docker image. We run the Docker image. We poke the Docker image. We poke Docker with curl. We update the message. We update the Docker image. We mentioned that it's using layering properly. So you only have to download what changed. We have systemd portable services, which are kind of like Docker containers, but they're at the systemd level. And we talk about my overlay. We add the overlay to the flake. We add the overlay. We add my overlay to the outputs function. We import the overlay on top of Nix packages. We set up the unit. We properly substitute out the service file. Or we properly template out the service file. Then we create the portable service. We see that it's a squashfs file system. This spacing, by the way, is to make it easier for people on mobile phones to read it. It's just something I try to do to help make people's lives a bit easier when they use my site on the phone. My site isn't like optimized the best for phones, but I try. It also is why I have to keep the padding really small. And then I mentioned that I'm using waifud as in order to create a VM, and I'm showing off that, you know, like, if you need one Arch Linux, you just say, hi, yes, waifud, please give me an Arch. And it's like, okay. And it'll just give you the IP. It's great. I love it. It's one of the best things I've ever made. We attach the portable system service. We start the service. Oh, I should mention that. will enable the service in systemd and then start it like when you run get a little short hacker there. Oh wow, I just realized that okay. I just realized I just remembered that I forgot that I just forgot that I had the Firefox window overlaid. But it just so happened that I had things at the perfect way so you could see me typing that. That's amazing. Okay. It's probably been long enough for that to. Yep. Actually, Firefox DevTools have a way to force it like on a phone. Okay, let's see. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's try iPhone 13. No, that's a bit too big. Actually, wait. There we go. We can just change the size of the browser window because this is my stream. Oh, it even emulates the freaking scrolling. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah. A 22-minute read. Yeah, this looks fine. I think I'm gonna... Actually, I'm gonna stop the recording.